on WSGI AM 1100 Springfield.
One street over there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold, but things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. I took a walk one street over from my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my
Hello. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and interrupt the guys singing us in. Ridgetop Ramblers, of course, singing us in there with One Street Over. What's going on One Street Over from We Living? We are living right because we get to live and work in Robertson County, and that's the words of our wonderful mayor, County Mayor Billy Vogel. Hi, guys. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is One Street Over, 1100 WSGI. Good Friday. And Good Friday morning. Lisa comes, this is our first Friday, so Lisa Forte from Redeem Her Now is here with me this morning, as she always is on the first Friday. She messaged me and said, so are we doing this on Good Friday? I'm like, of course I am. I can't get radio out of my system. If I can come in for an hour. And then last night I went to Mount Juliet to see my granddaughter play softball, and I brought my oldest grandson home with me. And much to my surprise, he said that he wanted to get up and come and be on the radio with us. So say hello, Rowen.
Hi.
There we go. And Lisa's getting to know him this morning. So I hope it's okay. I don't know what I told him, I said, now we talk Jesus and we talk deep Jesus stuff. I said, is that okay? What'd you say?
Yeah.
You like that? So anyway, so we're sitting here getting to know each other, and I'm like, y'all save it for radio. Because we were talking about Lisa, if you don't, she is a nurse practitioner, right? Mm-hmm. You have a relative that is a nurse practitioner. Who is that?
Jessica.
Well, you don't have to get last names. That's fine. That's their cousin. And what does your mom do?
She is a nurse at Mount Juliet Providence.
Yeah.
Surgery Center.
And then, Lisa, what was it that you asked him about what he wanted to do? Go ahead and ask him that real quick.
Yeah. I had asked you what you thought you wanted to do when you grew up.
I said what my dad wants, what he does, and he works for HCA Healthcare.
Okay. So, but and then I kind of stopped him. I said, "This is radio stuff." So
Right.
I want to hear what he thinks his dad does.
But we didn't get to that part. I
Yeah.
asked if he had gotten to go to work with him since he's at work with you this morning.
Yes.
And so he said he's gotten to go 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a fancy office?
You got to get up on the microphone, young
I
man.
mean, he doesn't really have a fancy office.
Get your hand off your mouth. You got to talk right in the microphone. Put your hand down. There you go.
He doesn't really have a fancy office, but like it's just like a bunch of like little desks that they can like with like a laptop spot and then like a screen.
Yeah.
So
So what does he do? Do you know what he does?
He is a project manager. I think.
Yeah.
so
So
what
what
is
is
a director? But,
Yeah, project manager director.
director.
Yeah. So what do you see him do that makes you think, "Ooh, that's really cool"?
Well, he like basically makes stuff for like the hospitals and stuff. And I think it would be really cool if like I could also like do that.
That is awesome. You
Does
sure?
he? Does he do so? Go ahead and ask. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say you like using your imagination to build things and design things to help people.
Yeah, I really like building stuff and stuff.
That's awesome.
So
We need builders.
Yeah. Doesn't your dad have something to do with the cloud?
he
Explain that. Explain that.
He also like works for the cloud and like he does like engineering for the cloud and like the software and a bunch of other stuff for it. Him and his team do that.
That's amazing.
Cloud distribution. That's why I was just wanting to see what he comes up with because I don't really know how to explain what my son does.
I know,
either.
right? Sounds like somebody I need to meet and have help me. I feel
Yeah.
like technology kicks my butt most days. So
That's fun. But I was really curious when he said he wanted to do what his dad does. I was like, do you understand what your dad does?
yeah,
So anyway, but
he said,
that's
yeah,
fun.
that's a good description.
Yeah.
Obviously, what Dad does is pretty cool because he wants to follow in his
Yeah, I
footsteps.
think that's
so.
neat too. I think your dad would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dad,
So what's one of your favorite things about your dad when you think about him? Not necessarily his job, but when you think about Dad, when you like, what's one of your favorite things about Dad?
That he's helped coach my teams for baseball and he played football from 6th grade to college, I think.
Yes, he's played all through college. Uh-huh.
And I just like I like it when he's like really like athletic with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like and helps our team be athletic.
That's awesome. So if you and your dad had all day to do whatever you wanted to do together, what would it be? Just you and Dad, and you got to pick. Like, what would you pick for you and Dad to do on a Dad day?
I would probably do something sporty because I really like sports.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
that's fun. So you got to turn it around. What about Mom? What's your favorite thing about Mom? We got to get Mom in here. Got to give equal time. Get up on that microphone for me, young man.
I know it's
We
hard
gotta
with
get
these
down to
seats.
business,
I know, right?
but yeah, that seat's a little
Yeah,
low. I
we need
know.
yeah.
But so same question for Mom. What's your favorite thing about Mom?
That
Up on the microphone. You got to talk right there. There you go.
that she like whenever like somebody like needs like surgery or something, she she helps them when they come to the surgery center.
Yeah.
awesome.
Your mom and dad take really good care of y'all too. So
Yeah. So here's the big question, and because I'm a boy mom, so when you get hurt, if you're playing out in the road and you just have this big wipeout, scratched up all over the place, and you're like,
I did that.
you
on
did
my
that?
Scooter.
You did, well, I bet you did probably already.
Twice.
So
Yeah.
maybe you're crying, maybe you're not, but it hurts really, really bad. Do you go to Mom or do you go to Dad?
I usually go to Mom because she knows like a lot more things about like when you like when you get like hurt and stuff. But sometimes I would go to Dad if it's just like a few cuts and stuff.
Yeah, that's usually how it is.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Gotta go to
Because
mom.
dads are usually like, "Hey, it's okay. We'll just brush this off. Come on, keep going." And
Yeah.
moms do a little, little
And
bit of
mom's a
extra,
nurse.
right? Yeah.
You're a nurse practitioner, so I mean, when you've got the medical mom, that's kind of a give too. I think.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard the way that and I mean, obviously, like I'm not this way with my patients. But the way that I'm wired with my kids, like it's really hard. If they've done something, like if there's an injury related to something I've told them 500 times not to do, it's really hard to like not start off with, now this is the reason why I've told you not to do that. Like,
exactly.
I will fix it, but we're going to make a point here, like, and here's why we don't do that.
Yes,
So,
exactly. And I went through the same thing with my kiddos and being a boy mom, four boys. You have two, right?
Yes.
So
I can't imagine. I can't imagine two more. Not the way mine eat. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how you and Mark did that.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Tell what they did at the grocery store.
Oh my goodness.
Did they have to do 2 carts?
No, having 4 boys, because I had 4.5 and under. And so the twins were always into everything. They would climb up in the freezers.
Oh,
Like the Kroger
Yeah.
freezers. The original Kroger was down here toward 5th Avenue, and when they had just gotten these really fancy sliding doors, and they went running because they always tried to help, because I'd have a cart with babies in it, because I'd have a 1-year-old and a newborn in a cart, and the twins would always try to help push the other cart, and they rammed it into the brand new Kroger that was down here by 5th Avenue, knocked the door off of its track.
Oh,
They were able to fix it. And then at Sam's one day, because I had the 2 little ones in a cart, and the twins were helping me push the cart that was just overflowing with stuff, turned it over right in the door of Sam's. And they all knew us in there.
Right.
We
They're
ran
like,
all
oh,
the
here comes
time. And
LaVern.
they're like, there's the videos. And yes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. One time, Jedediah, the middle one, the third one, climbed up in a tire stack at Sam's and got stuck. Oh, there's all kinds of things. Yeah.
you have some great stories. So you need to hold another whole book. So now, which one is your dad? One of the twins?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's basically the second child because his other twin was born 30 minutes.
I'm surprised he knows
30
this
minutes.
stuff. I'm
Okay.
impressed that you know
So
this stuff.
he was trying to decide not to come out yet, huh?
Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to hang.
Right? I got the space now.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
going to stretch out.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and the twins are nothing alike. Nothing alike. Which one of your uncles is your dad more like? Who does he remind you of more that people always think they're the twins? He was at your baseball game the other night.
So my dad, people always think that his twin is the third one.
Okay. Because of the way they act or the way they look, or both?
A lot
Do
alike.
they?
They favor, they favor a lot. So people are always like, are those the twins? It's like, nope. But Jedediah, so the one that just had a new baby. Because we've got the 5th grandchild. So we're super excited. So very good. But now we promise this is my grandson. Y'all, thank you for
is
indulging
Rowen,
us.
yes.
This is my grandson Rowen, my oldest grandson, I have to clarify.
Yeah.
I have to clarify. It was so funny. We've got a new sponsor, Valor Mortgage, and we're going to put a link up on, he was wanting to put some stuff up on a website. And I said, well, I can put your link on my website, but I got to update it because I've only got one of my grandkids on that website because I haven't updated it. I mean, it's there and I keep it, but he's the only grandkid represented on there. So I got to fix that, get it updated because I haven't done anything with it since I ran for Congress. So.
Okay.
But we're talking with Lisa Forte. Are y'all doing the Redeem Her Now tonight?
We are. I did not, when I was looking at scheduling last year, I didn't even realize that
It's Good Friday.
that Easter is this early this year. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to have prayer and worship and communion tonight. We're going to have a short little time together and just kind of have that pause of what truly, not only his sacrifice, but what that truly means to us from an identity and an authority perspective of like living in the fullness of what he did.
So what time are you guys going to gather tonight?
We're going to do our regular time. We're going to start at 7, probably 7 to 8-ish. Yeah. So we're still going to be at We Are Church, 1501 Hadley Avenue in Old Hickory. And yeah, it'll be a sweet, intimate time tonight. So.
A lot of people are doing that for their Good Friday service. And I just, it's something I have talked with Patrick Nix about this, and just remember that this is Holy Week, and so there are a lot of devotionals and things like that. And here locally, the Springfield Baptist Church in their fellowship hall, every day at noon they've had a luncheon. And different churches have sponsored it. And there is one today. Brother Gardner is going to be there. And if you know Brother Gardner, oh my goodness, he'll bring the fire. He is just amazing. And so they're going to be there at noon today for a luncheon. And then I know Fluellen is having a Good Friday service. And I want to say it's like 6:30 to 7 or 6 to 7 or 6:30 to 7:30, but it's like an hour. And they're going to kind of do the same thing. And we were talking about how that when we were younger, we didn't celebrate Good Friday. Now, my husband did because he was Catholic.
Right.
So did you grow up celebrating Good Friday service?
So we were in the Catholic Church until I was in third grade. Both sides of my family are Catholics. We're Catholics. Very strong lineage there. The only reason why I remember third grade is because I went through First Communion, and shortly after that is when Mom and Dad left. So I don't remember a whole lot from what we did under the Catholicism umbrella. But no, not Good Friday in a celebration form or acknowledgement form. Even moving forward, or even in my adult life, it's Easter Sunday, right? So it's usually that's a preparation day to get ready for Easter Sunday,
right?
So, and I really, whenever, because of not really doing that, my first inclination was like, oh, it's Good Friday, we should probably just cancel and it's like, you know what? Let's just keep it intimate and just really spend that time in that remembrance posture. But in the remembering the entirety and the finished work, because I think, at least for me, that's where I have focused on for years. It's like, okay, this is what Jesus did in this moment from crucifixion to resurrection, and that just the journey that the Lord's had me on, and that unpacking of his fulfillment of all the prophecies, and how everything type and shadow from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and then, really what his resurrection means to us right now, because for so many years, and even, there's still our mindset, which sometimes I think is influenced by the enemy in this particular, because he doesn't want us to get it, but so many times we think, okay, this is what Jesus did was so that I could be with him forever. And everything starts when I leave this planet, be with him forever. And it's like, right. No, that's not what he did. The fulfillment and the promises that we have for him, in him, right now is just, it's mind blowing. Like the more that it's like, the more you unpack that, it's like, wow, what? Yeah, for real, for sure.
Well, see, and that's the thing. And it's so, when I think about, I had a student, it's been several years ago, that I said, we were getting ready for the week. I said, hey, don't forget, we're out of school tomorrow. And he looked at me like, why are we out of school tomorrow? And I said, well, it's Good Friday. And he was like, what is that? He's not from the, Bible Belt area. Yeah. We call this the Bible Belt, Rowen, because there's a lot of churches here, and most people have some kind of faith or some foundation in their faith in Christ, or to some degree. Well, not every area is like that. He didn't know what it was. And I said, well, because Sunday's Easter. Oh, it's a religious thing. That's what he said.
Right.
So I guess that's a question I have for you. What would you have said to him? What is Good Friday? what would you have said whenever he asked that question? Let me ask
So
you
how much time would I have?
between the bells?
Oh gosh.
Between the bells, do you know what we're talking about when we say Good Friday? You do. What? Let me. I'm curious as what a 9-year-old. What do you think Good Friday is? Get on that microphone real quick for us. What do you think? It's okay if you don't know, but we say Good Friday. Right. What is Good Friday? Do you know? I'm curious. And again, this is my grandson, my oldest grandson, Rowen. He's 9, going to be double digits in July.
Right.
Would you rather her answer it, or do you not really sure? There's no wrong answer.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's okay.
Right. Well, and I've always, to be honest with you, Rowen, I don't know why they call it Good Friday because it's like, who labeled that Good Friday?
But because that's when the good news. That's when. Okay, I want to hear how you explain it because I'm always curious to see people's take on it. So somebody says, "What's Good Friday?" What would you say?
Right.
Between the bells, Lisa.
Between the bells. If I had to do, so what is it? Is it 5 minutes still? I mean, it used to be 5 minutes whenever,
because he's got to get to his other class.
Right. I would ask him,
this is the elevator
right.
speech. This is the one where you've got to be, because when you get a window, when a student opens a window, you got to jump in it.
That's when I'd be like, you know what? It's good. It would have to be something like exciting that like, I've got a lot to tell you about that. And hey, what are you doing for lunch? Come back and see me. Yeah. Like somehow entice the little bit more. But if I only had 5 minutes to respond, I'd be like, okay, Holy Spirit, what would that be?
Mm-hmm. That's a tough question.
No, it is a tough question. Well, it's kind of one of those. It's like the wording of it would be something happened over 2,000 years ago that forever changed the trajectory of my life. And, something along the lines of just like there was something significant that happened over 2,000 years ago that changed the world, that changed my life, that changed, and kind of inviting that conversation for a little bit long, a little bit later so that you have more time
to continue that conversation and to keep the door open.
Yeah.
So,
because it's not, and not that I've gotten to the point now that I don't focus on the correction, even though that's the way that I'm wired. Because, and then there's even times now that, and this was something that happened this week is I had gotten a text response from somebody, a friend of mine, because I had sent her a little snippet to listen to. And I knew it was coming because every time I send something, it's like there's it's almost like she has to do this comb over of all of it, and she puts it through this filter. And so there's always this, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And I'm going, goodness. And I knew it was coming, and I'm getting my thumbs ready. And it was just like, the Lord's like, you don't have to fight my battles. You don't have to justify. You don't have to, you're not going to win this because there's a level of things she doesn't want to see, and only I can change that. And it's like, okay, good, because that takes the responsibility off. So sometimes we go into these conversations and even get defensive on Jesus's behalf when we really don't, and that becomes offensive to them. Yes. And so we just lose that moment, right? So it is okay, Lord, when do I need to be still, and what is it that I need to say? If there's something that you want me to say, or, how do we continue to show the love and beauty of who he is to people? So I think, yeah.
That's interesting because kids ask me questions.
That's awesome that
kids
they ask
me questions, and you have to be, careful how you state it, and you just pray constantly that they have eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to understand, because so many, like you said, they've shut themselves off to the message, and you have to pray for that. I saw something this morning, and I can't remember exactly who it was. It says the only thing we're in control of is our self-control. It's the fruits of the Spirit. That's the only thing that we're called to control. You give it all, the rest of it to the Lord, and just let him control it. But we're in charge of our self-control. And beyond that, give it to him. Work hard and do all the things he's presented before you to do. But remember, ultimately, the only control you have is yourself, your self-control. And so when you're dealing with somebody like that, just be like, it's like you just give it to him because he's got it. Eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to understand. Yeah. We've got several sponsors we got to do today. So let me go ahead and do one of them because we're already,
I know
where we are.
Our time flies.
I'm going to talk about UPS, and then when we come back, I want you, what did you think before you got here? Because you didn't know my grandson was going to be here. So when you were driving here, what is it you wanted to share? So I'm going to shut up and let you share whatever you brought. You're like, Lord, tell me what you want me to say this morning. Was there something like that? So I'm going to challenge you.
Well, after you do your ad, before that, though, I want to ask you a question.
Okay. I love it.
You're like, no. Well, you just what you said made me think of something. So we'll just have to go ahead.
Okay. So you want to ask me something after we come out of the spot?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to set it up on the
We're going to set it. Yeah. No.
That's good. Well,
we're coming back with a question.
We're super excited because we're almost sold out on 1 Street Over. So that's super awesome. If you want to be one of our advertisers, reach out to me at 615-594-7736, 615-594-7736. But we do a limited number. And one of those is UPS Store. And we love talking about them because I very rarely sit down. If there's somebody in Springfield with me and I start talking about the UPS Store, they always have a story about something that the UPS Store has done for them. Tom, the owner, has, said, hey, no, that's okay. Let me help you with that. They're the most courteous people ever. We compare them to Chick-fil-A. Everybody knows when you go in Chick-fil-A, it's like, it's my pleasure. Thank you for letting me serve you. They're so polite. That is the first impression. When I walked in the UPS store, I'm like, this reminds me of the Chick-fil-A employees. They are so service-minded. Customer service is their number one priority. You walk in there and they are beyond helpful. They are, the place to drop off your Amazon packages. They've got the little self-service kiosks over to the left so you can even help yourself if you go in there and they happen to be super busy. Everybody in there is a notary. When we went through settling my parents' estate and all of that, I had to get several things notarized. And that's stressful. Not anymore. UPS Store, everybody in there can notarize your items and get it on its way, and it's easy to do. Now, they do have a very big respect for their employees, and they give them days off. They're off today. So keep that in mind, but they will have hours open tomorrow. From 9 to 3, I think, on no, they're saying 9 to 5 tomorrow. Now, they've changed their weekend hours, but it looks like they're going to extend their hours a little bit tomorrow because they're also going to be closed on Easter Sunday. Normally, they're open 7 days a week to some, they'll have some hours 7 days a week, but they've changed their weekend hours in general a couple of weeks ago. And so they do have hours on Saturday and Sunday. I'll pull those up in just a minute. But right now, because it is Easter weekend, they are closed today, Good Friday. They'll be open tomorrow. It looks like they're going to be open 9 to 5. And then on Sunday, they are closed for Easter. And then they'll be back up open on Monday through Friday. Typically, the hours are 8 to 6:30. So just respect that and know that. And they are just a great store to work with. Everything you need printed. If you've got something you really needed for Easter, you can go by and get that done tomorrow. If you've got something that's got to be dropped off for Amazon, you can get that done tomorrow. You got shredding to do, you can get that done. They always have specials and coupons and things like that going on. Be sure and hang on to your coupons because even if it's one that they're not handing out at that time, there's a shredding coupon that's been out there for a while. When you need it, you can use it. They never expire. They have a little survey you can come in and do and be qualified for a Amazon gift certificate. They're at 513 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. Cannot say enough about the UPS Store and how good they are to the community. They do so much for nonprofits, but they are taking Good Friday off and Easter off, but they'll be open tomorrow. Go by and see them, 813 Memorial Boulevard. And when you do, let them know U-Turn sent you. And so what is the question you have for me?
So the question is, are you able as a teacher to do sponsor a club that's after school, before school, or whatever, that would allow you that space of Q&A, deeper dives with Jesus? So,
absolutely.
Okay.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
I know that they do that, but I just didn't know as a teacher if you were able to do if you have that many that are coming that feel
Yes,
comfortable enough to ask you these questions.
I would have to put. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
go.
I would have to put it before. I would have to say the kids want me to have this club, just like we have broadcast club.
Right.
My friend across the hall has an art club, and so they stay after school. I think they had a Dungeons and Dragons club for a while that she sponsored because they like to play that D&D stuff, and so she sponsored that. And then you'll have they had a book club for a while. So that if the students want to have a Bible club, I think they would definitely approve it, because now in the state of Tennessee, we can have a class on the Bible as a history class. And it's so funny because I told my principal, I was like, I want to teach it. She's like, no, you're not a history teacher. It's got to be under the umbrella of history, under the socials. It's got to be under that
umbrella,
social studies umbrella. And so, because the teacher that's probably going to end up doing this, I'm going to arm wrestle you for it. But it's got to be under the understanding of it from a history perspective. It was very interesting yesterday in my class. I have several seniors in my audio video 3 class, and seniors want to do nothing at this point. Now, not all of them.
Right.
They are. When we get back to school on Monday, I think they'll be at 22. Let's see. Probably about 22 days before they graduate, something like, or before their last day at school. Their graduation is like on the 18th of May, but they've got just 20-something days of school left. Very few school days that they're going to be in the building. They're just counting down real quick, and you can't get anything out of them. I mean, you can, but they are the masters at trying to get you off topic. Well, they know that I'm involved in ministry, that I work with Celebrate Recovery, I do mission work, that I worked in the church 7 years before I came. They know my story. And so they love to ask me Bible questions to get me off track. And because I'm, and so they started asking different questions about, the Bible class and what it was going to be. I said, well, I really don't know what it's going to look like. I said, but it's got to look from a history perspective. But I had an Aitken Bible on my desk because I tie that into a lesson on early communication and early print, because it was the first Bible endorsed by Congress to be printed, and it was printed because of taxes and tariffs that were put on by the British to prevent Bibles from being able to come into the colonies. And so they printed this Bible. It was all part of how communication advanced. And so there's a lot of great lessons you can do with the Aitken Bible, and there are reproductions of it in all the libraries in Robertson County. And so I was showing them that Bible and the historical significance of it. So, we go down rabbit holes all the time. And so if there was, based upon with them having the Bible class, I could see kids want to do a deeper dive and have a Bible club. And I think it would absolutely be approved. But it would have to be an after school thing.
Yeah.
But
that would be awesome.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes meets at 7:30 every Thursday morning, and they call it the weekly huddle. And I'm on the radio. And I have toyed with the idea of taking one Thursday off a month so I can be a part of that. And I might do that in the fall. I don't know what that looks like, but I've thought about it.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to look at Lee Marie's schedule and see if she could, fill in and all that kind of thing and make it work. But I've considered that, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But are you coming in today, Lee Marie? Yep, it sounds like Lee Marie's coming in for a special episode of the Go Show today with homeopath Pat Sampler's coming in, and I'll bet you they'll get some Jesus on you too, because it's Good Friday. So Lee Marie's coming in for another full hour of local programming right here, 1100 WSGI.
So I think when you were talking before you went to break, is kind of unpacking some things for Rowen, since you asked him about Good Friday. So we're going to talk about Good Friday a little bit, and you can help me fill in the blanks or ask some questions. You feel free to jump in.
Did you come in with something else you wanted to talk about?
No, I mean, I think it was just that whole what are we doing about today because of the significance of today. So just
because I kind of blindsided you with my grandson. I don't want you to not get what you brought to the table out, because we have this cute little fella here.
Jesus has it. It's all good.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of do the highlight overview backdrop And so you remember God put Adam and Eve in the garden. Do you remember what they did?
Get up on that microphone, Betty.
Yeah. This is going to be like school today, even though you're not in school.
He put them in the garden with a apple tree that he told them not to eat anything off of it, and they did, and it made certain things in the world.
Yes, yes. So when Adam and Eve disobeyed God, that opened the door to sin and death and disease and all the ick. And so until Jesus came, what happened with the priest, or what we would call church these days, is a tabernacle was built. So that's the same thing as our church. And the way that God instructed them to build the tabernacle was there was an inner space called the Holy of Holies, or you've heard the Ark of the Covenant. That's where that was. Well, one single priest, one time a year, got to go into the Holy of Holies and make a sacrifice, animal sacrifice, because it was the blood from the animals that temporarily covered the sins of the people, but could go into the Holy of Holies and make that sacrifice. So from the time Adam and Eve left the garden until Jesus came, the blood sacrifice was always animal related, was always temporary, and there was only one person that could go into the Holy of Holies. And this was the one, when I think about this, it's like, oh, I don't know if I would want that job, because the person that went into, the priest that went into the Holy of Holies, had to be sin-free, because he was going into the presence of the Lord. And if he wasn't sin-free, then entering into the Holy of Holies, he would die. Eek, like game over, like no.
So he had to be. They had something. You know how people get baptized? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
cleansing.
The Jewish people before Christ, they were getting basically ceremonially baptized all the time. They called them mikvahs, and they would have these things of water that they would go in, and when they would come out of them, they would be ceremonially, because by going into the water, they were like, okay, cleanse me, Lord. And then they would have, if he were going into the Holy of Holies, he had to make sure he didn't mess up between there and there.
Yeah.
So that's how they would make sure, because nobody can not sin.
Right.
We're all going to mess up. But as a priest, he would go through the rituals. I'm trying to think of a word that you would understand. You know what ritual is? It's like you know what you have as a ritual? What do you do that you do every night and every morning? One of the first things you do.
Brush my teeth.
Yeah, get up on that microphone. That's a ritual.
Yeah.
That's something you do all the time.
Or even whenever you're getting ready to get up to bat. Are there certain things that you do every time? Do you tap the plate 3 times? Do you spin around? Yes. Kind of like a habit.
Ritual.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another word for it. That's why when I say words like, I have to be mindful of what, is he going to know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But the priest would have a habit, or this was something God told him to do. Said, cleanse yourself before you come into me. And they would do it by doing a baptism that they would do right before that. Go ahead, Lisa. But I was just trying to help him understand how they could be sin-free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so one of the interesting things when they built the Holy of Holies, there was a great big curtain that was 60 feet tall and 4 inches wide. So this went from top to bottom. This was part of what the Lord said to make, to guard that Holy of Holies.
4 inches thick.
4 inches thick. Yeah. Yes. Like, can you imagine?
I wonder how wide it was, because it was, how tall did you say it was?
60.
60.
I'm sure it's
I think about a curtain that's that thick.
4 inches. I know that would be like that's like a wall. I mean, it's probably thicker than the walls of our buildings, right?
That's the thickness of it's always kind of. I've been like,
I know that is crazy. No kidding.
Yeah.
Angel assistance.
Yeah.
So when Jesus came, and it was getting to the point where he had told his disciples that he was going to be crucified. That's what Good Friday is. I don't want to say that it's like, we celebrate it. But that is the purpose of remembering, and why we have Good Friday is the day that Jesus was actually beaten and crucified for us. And so his sacrifice, his blood sacrifice, because he was sinless, covered and took everything away. So no longer, that's why we don't have to do animal sacrifices anymore.
Right.
Because he was the perfect sacrifice for us. So Good Friday is essentially the remembering of, hey, this is the day that Jesus was beaten. This is the day that he carried the cross. This is the day that he was nailed to the cross and died and put in the tomb. And that's why we get to celebrate Easter on Sunday, because that's the day they came and they're like, oh my gosh, the stones rolled away. Where did he go? So, yes. So, and that's why we're going, why do they call it Good Friday? Because, yes, it's good for us that he was that sacrifice. But there was nothing good that we see in the physical, because he said, the joy set before me. And even Jesus saying that was joy for him, because he knew, like, he could see what his laying down his life did for us.
Amen.
So,
So does that explain it?
a little bit,
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty good. I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and do another break. 'Cause we'll get to talking, and I'll be running out of time. And like I said, I got a full house of commercials today that we need to. Probably should have covered one of these in the first half hour, and we got to chatting with my grandson and got distracted.
Do as much as you need to. It's all good.
There you go. But we have, of course, our longest running full time sponsor is Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty, and I'll just say right now, if you're needing anything in real estate, in the real estate community, they are your one call that you need to make when it comes to getting your house ready. If you're thinking about selling, first thing you need to do, somebody maybe say, well, your property is worth X amount of dollars. We're always having people trying to buy our property. I had somebody reach out the other day because it's in the city, it's a lot of acreage and all that kind of stuff. We're not going anywhere. But people will tell me, well, your property is worth this, worth that. If I were to seriously consider selling my property, the first thing I got to do is get a free market analysis, because somebody can tell you what your property is worth, but is it really worth that? And what I mean, you can think, oh, I'm going to sell my property and I'm going to get this much money and I'm going to be able to do this, this, and this. But if your buyer can't get a loan to secure that purchase because the market analysis is not saying it's worth what you think it is, you're dead in the water on that, and you've just wasted your time, you've wasted your buyer's time, you've wasted everybody's time, and it's going to mess up your plans. So do the right thing. If you're wanting to sell your property, get a market analysis. They'll do a free market analysis for you super fast. When they're out, they're going to be at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, as a matter of fact, in their tent. And this is something we talked about last year when we were there. We talked about that. And they can do it right there. They've got their computer. They can take care of a market analysis for you right there. That's the third weekend in May that they'll be out at the park at Kilgore Station Park, because they're in Cross Plains. So they're at all those events. They can do that for you right there. If you're wanting to know, what you can pre-qualify for, they're going to direct you to some great places to do that, to find out exactly how much home you can afford. We're going to talk about Valor Mortgage here in a minute. I love that they're a sponsor now, because it's such a perfect fit for what we talk about on the show all the time. And then it's the most important purchase, the biggest purchase you're going to make for a lot of us. So you want to make sure you do it right. Find out how much home you can buy. Make sure you know what your property is worth. And if you want to be a realtor, talk to Barry and Rebecca, because he very famously says he might talk you out of it, because being a realtor is not for everyone. You got to make sure it's a good fit for you. Both Barry and Rebecca came out of different careers to go into real estate, so they can talk to you about it from a very diverse perspective, and really be super honest with you about what to expect if you want to be a realtor. They are here in Cross Plains. They're Robertson Countyans for 30 plus years, just like myself. We got here about the same time, and but they're originally from Kentucky, also like myself. So they understand buying and selling in Kentucky. You got to have a broker that can broker deals in Kentucky. Rebecca in her agency office up in White House, they do. Those laws have changed. You got to make sure you've got that. Barry is a broker right here in Springfield. Together they make Exit Prime Realty. But again, because they're Robertson Countyans, they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky, y'all. And if you want to know more, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424, and let them know U-Turn sent you. Okay. What's
You
next?
can do that in your sleep. I mean, I'm sitting over here going, man,
Yeah.
I could just do a commercial like she does.
What's really funny,
awesome.
people tease me I've been doing ads for
I
them
know,
since I
right?
started doing this show, so that kind of spills off. There's a legal thing that I have to say at the end of Valor Mortgage. I don't know if I'll ever remember that because it's a lot of numbers, but you those are things you have to for legal perspectives. You got to make sure and get those in. But it's so funny. There is an ad I did as a traffic reporter for so many years. The Bill Goodman Gun and Knife Show. And I can spit it out to this day. Don't miss it. The Bill Goodman Gun and Knife Show. See hundreds of shotguns, rifles, and knives of all kinds. Buy, sell, or trade. Don't you dare miss it. That was a constant traffic tag for me.
Wow.
Because it came up just every weekend, it seemed, I guess. And so they were a reoccurring sponsor on traffic. And I mean, there were several like that, but that was one I'll never forget for some reason. I don't know why.
I know.
Isn't that funny? What else are we going to talk about?
What else do you want to talk about, Rowan?
So, what is it? What does Easter mean to? Okay, so are y'all going to go to church on Easter Sunday? Of course you are. Yes, you are. I can answer that question. Don't even hesitate. Of course you're going to go.
It's just a matter of picking what service, because most of our churches go to multiple services for Easter, right? Yeah.
My church has a 9 o'clock service.
Go ahead and get on the microphone, babe.
Or my church has a.
Okay, so let's start with what's your church? What church do you go to?
So my church is in Mount Juliet.
Okay.
That's also where I live, and
Get closer to the microphone, sweetheart.
it's called Crosspoint,
Okay.
and the services are 9 o'clock to 10, and then the 11 o'clock to 12, I think.
Okay.
I think there's more than that. I think they're even having some Saturday services too.
Yeah, because on Sunday it's Easter. Every Sunday for Easter, they do a Saturday service for so if people can't go to there on the Sunday, like if they're going somewhere else to visit family for Easter, they can go on the Saturday one to still get the church.
Yeah. Spend some time in worship. That's right. So they do extended services and all that. And a lot of congregations do.
Yes. Now, is it? I've never participated in one. Aren't there some denominations that do an Easter sunrise service?
As a matter of fact, Fluellen is.
Okay.
Fluellen is having a. Let me go pull up their page again, because we had Patrick Nix in, who is the preacher over at Fluellen, and they're doing, like I said, the evening service tonight. They're doing a Good Friday service at 6:30, and then they're doing a sunrise service. Where is it? No, the sunrise service is at 6:30. I think tonight's at 6:30 as well, because I was looking at the wrong calendar. They've got a 6:30 sunrise service on Sunday morning, and then they've got a 10:15 little kids egg hunt, like the little bitty ones. You'd be too old. I mean, like for maybe your little
like
brother.
5 and under or 4 and under.
I'm sure it's not like
3 and under.
It's little ones because they get run over.
Right.
So they're doing a little egg hunt, and then they've got their worship service at 11. Oh, they're doing a communion service tonight at 6:30. And so they are doing the sunrise service. And I told them, I said, I don't know, but I get up so early Monday through Friday. But I would love to do that. And I'll tell you, this is something too. Easter is one of those things. I've never really studied about how it falls on the calendar.
Right.
But it changes depending on, and it's all based upon the religious calendar, the Jewish calendar, the sun, and all that kind of thing that has a lot to do with it. But the Egyptian people he goes to school with some Egyptian kids, but their Easter is always following what would be the Middle East, from around in Egypt and Israel and all those folks when they would have Easter. Well, I guess actually Israel will celebrate Easter. There's an Orthodox Easter date, and it's usually different. So I'm not really sure when the Orthodox Easter is.
But our
I'll find out here.
Well, but when we celebrate Easter is doesn't line up with the Jewish calendar Easter, though, does it? Because like they've already done Passover. Like,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'd have to go. I don't know that it does. I think like there's something in that.
Okay,
And
so
plus, I've always gone Friday, 24 hours Saturday, 48 hours Sunday. It says 3 days. So how do we get from Friday to Sunday? So anyway.
So Easter for the Coptic Orthodox Egyptians will be next Sunday on April 12th. And I say all that to say, you were talking about going to a sunrise service and all that'd be a great thing. If you really want to step into a different culture, go to their Easter service. It'll blow your mind. It will blow your mind. It's my favorite thing to go to, because I've gone to some I've gone to some Christmas services. I've gone to some baptisms and wedding celebrations and things like that in the Egyptian churches. But Easter blew my mind because we went in there, and it's a long service and you stand a lot. But what happens is you go in there and you're standing there, and they'll do some in Coptic, they'll do some in Arabic and some in English. Different churches do different things depending on their membership. But the one we went to did stuff in all three languages, and they'll have men on one side and women on the other. Typically, when you go in, it's very different. But what happens is while the service is going on, in behind where the priest is doing, presenting the service, in behind there's this like room, and there a bunch of people, and there's a bed of roses, and it's like they're doing something with the bed of roses. It's like they're ministering to the bed of roses, representing Christ, representing Jesus. I think, I'm not really sure, because it's fascinating, but it's like you're stepping into Egypt, y'all. It's so interesting, and they love guests. They would love for you to come and witness this. So you're there, and this is on Saturday night.
Okay.
This is on Saturday night before Easter. And you're there very late, and all of a sudden you're looking at your own, like, how long is this going? And at midnight, the lights go out. Everything, and I had no idea what was coming first time I went. And the lights, it just goes black. And you're like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden the lights come back on, and everything that's happened in the back with the roses and stuff, that's gone to light. And the children are all parading through the crowd. And I mean, kids everywhere carrying crosses with icons of the risen Savior. It's a trip. I mean, and they're dressed in white. Usually, I mean, it's amazing. It's fascinating. And this is them celebrating the resurrection at that moment of midnight. And it's a cultural experience right here in Nashville. And I think there's like 12 Coptic Orthodox churches now in this vicinity, because there's so many Christian Egyptians here.
Yes.
And so I just encourage you, that's next weekend. You want to find, it's a cultural experience.
Well,
and love to have you.
Doesn't Rachel do something special? Like there's a special service that they do at Harvest Point.
Rachel Culver at for Good Friday and stuff.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to remember.
I mean, I saw her yesterday, but I didn't ask her.
I know that there was something that she had shared with me a while back about one of their services, and I can't remember.
I went to their Christmas Eve service, and it was real special.
Yes,
and so
there was a couple, and so I'm wondering. I'm like,
I wish I had it, but that would be.
But when you said the lights out part, there's something that they do.
Okay,
so that's why I was like,
I'll have to ask her about that.
But right.
The bottom line is, guys, there's so many wonderful spiritual things to remember. This is Holy Week. This is a Good Friday, because this is when it was all done. This is when the last words of Christ on the cross, tetelestai, it's finished.
Yes.
Done. I use this illustration a lot. I said, you have to remember that in the beginning, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was there.
Yes.
Christ was there. It was like when God said, let's make man. Let's make mankind, Adam. Let's make mankind in our image. It was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit there together. Christ, from the moment of the creation of mankind, knew what was going to happen. Knew what was going to happen, and had to bear witness to that from the creation on, and the price he was going to have to pay, and even all the way to the garden, knowing, man, this is going to be hard. I wish there were another way, but knowing everything he was going to have to endure from all the things that humanity did, to that moment on the cross when he's like, it's been paid, it's finished. And that's how I see it. I see it not as my ministries, because a lot of people, that meant his ministry was finished. No, it meant that the price was paid.
Right.
What I saw from the moment of being there, from the moment of creation, what I saw beginning, it's finished. It's now finished.
Yes.
That's the way I see it.
Well, and I think that I love the it is finished part, because everything that he did removed sin. Like it we are no longer in Adam, we are in Christ, we are new creations in him. And so the curse was broken, the curse of sin was broken, the curse of death and disease, all of that was broken.
Right.
And so that it was just like out of all of the words he could say. And so even whenever I think that's where I would encourage people this weekend, just to sit and ask the Lord, what does that truly mean?
Yes.
What does that mean to me? Make that personal, make that intimate. Lord, when you said it is finished, what does that mean for me? What does that mean in my life? Because, and I didn't write it down because I didn't know we were going to be talking about it, but there's a scripture in the New Testament that talks about now, because of what Christ did and being a new creation, and now we're united with him, we're seated at the right hand of the Father. We have the resurrection power living united in our spirit with us. We have the fullness of God. Just even to leave it at that, process that for a second. We have the fullness of God living on the inside of us right now. The fullness of God.
Yep.
So do we sit and ask for that revelation of even, Father, who are you? In that sense of knowing who he is and his character and his power and his authority, all of the things, reveal that to us so that we can live and walk in that fullness that Jesus gave, because 100% we're living so far below what he did for us. What we're celebrating this weekend, we are living below our inheritance that we're walking in, that we should be walking, that's available to us right here, right now.
Oh, we don't even touch the hem of the
We
garment.
don't even
barely touch it. We don't barely touch it, and it's already time to.
Yep. No, go ahead.
We're going to talk about our last sponsor, and our newest sponsor, Valor Mortgage. So excited to bring them to the table. Had the great opportunity to talk with Chris Armentrout came in with Scott Irwin from the Veteran Service Office last week. And I thought, he's here to talk about VA loans. And I thought that's Valor Mortgage. That's all they did. And he was like, no. We do VA loans. We do FHA loans. We do it all. Conventional loans, jumbo financing, and all the things. And the more he talked, I said, man, I wish you'd sponsor the show, because we talk so much about Barry and Rebecca. This is a perfect fit, because that's the first thing Barry and Rebecca says. You got to go find out how much home you can buy. And that's the thing Chris said. He says, you got to go find out how much home you can buy. I had Brian Pulley in here yesterday, and he's like, oh, yeah, Chris helped me out. They're a partner with United. They were a partner with United Way at the time, and they were looking at trying to drop their interest rate, dropped it 2 points for them. Anything that you're looking at when it comes to your loan on your property. Maybe you're wanting to invest in rental property, something like that. How does that look? Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, investing in your future, Valor Mortgage is ready to serve. And the very cool thing about it is they're not going to treat you like a number. You are going to have a personal person that can talk to you and walk you through. It's going to be a partner for you when you make one of the biggest financial decisions that you're ever going to make. So if you want to give them a call and find out exactly what's going on, or you can, their office is just 2 doors down from the theater in Springfield. So they're right here in downtown. They have got a lot of folks for you to work with, but you can give them a call at 615-671-9178. Again, that number is 615-671-9178, or you can go to Valor Mortgage, VALOR.mortgage, to get pre-approved today and find out just how much home you can buy whatever your goals are, VA loan, FHA loan, jumbo loan, conventional loan, you want to refinance, you want to buy rental property. Again, I just reiterate to say that the entire package. Reach out to them today, Valor Mortgage. Talk to Chris Armentrout, and always let them know U-Turn sent you. But Valor Mortgage, NMLS number 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice, not a commitment to lend. There's that legal stuff I told you we have to put in there all the time. How do you want to end this, my sweet friend Lisa, and my lovely grandson?
I know.
Rowen?
He's ready for breakfast.
Yeah, he had a little Rice Krispie on the way, so he's not completely famished. But yeah, he's ready to go hang out with Pawpaw and eat some breakfast.
There you go. That sounds like fun.
Invite him again to redeem her now and refresh.
Yeah. So it's open to everyone. We will be meeting this evening from 7 to 8 o'clock at We Are Church, 1501 Hadley Avenue in Old Hickory. So if you're on that side of town, we're just going to have a just quiet, intimate night of worship and reflection and communion together. So as we,
It'll be sweet.
It is going to be sweet.
Very much. So that's up in the Old Hickory area, just up the street from Madison Church of Christ, where I worship. And I know our Madison Church of Christ is having a Good Friday service tonight. I forget what time, but you can find it on the website. And again, we'll have, of course, our normal Easter service on Sunday. But since we're right here in this neighborhood, I want to remind you. I told you about Flu Ellen. The 6:30 tonight. Sunrise service 6:30. On Sunday, then they've got a little kids Easter egg at 10:15, and then service at 11. Springfield Baptist, they're changing their hours this weekend, and they're going to a new schedule. And David and I talked about that, so I just want to remind you, Sunday school now, they're going to have an adult Sunday school hour at 8 o'clock, so there's going to be some adult classes. Then at 9:15, they will have a worship service and class going simultaneously. And then at 10:45, same thing, they're going to have class and worship service going at the same time. So if you want to come to class at 9 and then go to worship at 10:45, you can, or vice versa. You can do it either way. So they're changing those hours starting this Sunday. That's just a good time to take that break. But tomorrow, they're having their pancake breakfast and egg hunt. It's at 9 for breakfast and activities, and at 10:15 they're going to divide them up in ages and do their egg hunt, but they're going to have a petting zoo, inflatables, all the things. And then today they are playing host to the last of the Holy Week luncheons, and Brother Gardner is going to be there preaching, and everybody in Springfield knows who he is. He heads up the master's table and all the things.
Is the luncheon free?
Yeah.
So you can go and eat for free?
Eat lunch for free. I think they're going to be at a packed house today because people are off work.
Yeah.
So noon to 1.
That's so
you
cool.
get to hear Brother Gardner, and he's just a fire. He's just a fire speaking. He is awesome. Just one of my favorite people. But go do it. Good Friday. Spend some time worshiping and thinking about what it's all about, and get to a church. My friend Brian Pulley talked yesterday. His family were looking, they were like, it's Easter, we need to find a church. And they found their church that they're still a part of, Coopertown Church of Christ.
That's cool.
So, and I mean, this would be a good time to find a church home, y'all. Go do it. I think that's it. I haven't seen Lee Marie. I saw Pat come in. So, Pat, are you coming in? I don't know if she's coming in with Lee Marie or exactly how that's working out, but we'll let them come in. So, stay tuned. We're going to have another full hour of local programming. Pat's coming in. I think Lee Marie's coming in. Any parting words, my grandson?
Yeah.
My oldest grandson, always. That's a designation only you can hold. The first grandson. That's pretty special, isn't it? So, anything you want to say?
I don't think so.
So how about just happy Easter?
Happy Good Friday and have a happy Easter.
That's
very
awesome. Good.
Thanks for coming and being with us this morning.
Yeah,
that was
fun. A lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I know you're say hi to your Mimi and your Tay Tay, because they're pretty important. So can you say hi to Mimi and Tay Tay before we sign off?
Hi.
Hi. I tried. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI, and stay tuned for another full hour coming up with Pat and Lee Marie here on 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Good Friday. Worship this weekend and find you a church. Happy Easter. He is risen.
Lee Marie.